Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Today we're going to do the Shaddah with Tanween. We're going to see a letter, the harf, the letter, and then we're going to see Shaddah, mushaddad مع التنوين بالفتح. So Tanween fatha, Tanween kasra, Tanween dhamma, and all with Shaddah. So we're combining the Shaddah and the Tanween in these examples. We're going to read from right to left. Habban. Always the alif after the tanween, al-fath, disappears, right? So we said that the tanween only occurs at the end of the word, and after the tanween of fatha, we put alif, except for a few exceptions that we mentioned before. But this alif is not pronounced because it doesn't extend the sound of noon, the noon that has sukoon on it, right? Habban. The noon doesn't have a fatha, so it's as if this doesn't exist. So habban. Rabbin. ورب رجا فج مدا مدا مرد وصد مصفرا مصفرا مستمر مستمر. Notice here the difference. It starts with mus, and this is mus. This is a heavy s, and this is a light s. The difference is I'll be smiling on this one after the mu. So here it's mus. My mouth is still in an oval shape. Mus. Here I start with an oval shape because dhamma, it makes me start with the oo sound, mu. So my mouth is an oval shape, but when I get to the sound, I have to switch my mouth to smiling. So mustamirin. If we don't do that, these two letters will sound the same. مستقر مستقر. And the silent letters, usually you spend enough time on them until they are well recognized. So don't be shy pronouncing those letters or stingy in spending time on them. Havon. Havin. Soften. Uffin. Shaqqan. Raqqin. Haqqun. Deccan. Shakkin. Shakkun. Here we're messing, I messed up. Let's see if I can fix it for now. So this is gonna be, we're gonna see Shaddah, right? And double fatha, right? So this is really illan, illan, kullin, kullun, summan, ghammin, summun, mannan, jannun, afuwan, utuwin, la'afuwun, waliyan, khafiyin, laqawiyun, And this is actually the end of our book. There are a few more topics that I wished I could add to the book. I didn't have the opportunity, but I will be talking about them right now. So I'm gonna share with you the mushaf. We're gonna read and we're gonna discuss some of those things. Let's first we're gonna skip any letter that doesn't have accent like these. They don't have accent, they have this symbol that we haven't talked about yet. We'll talk about it later. But any letter that doesn't have any accent, we're gonna skip for now. We're gonna talk about it later. Any word that starts with Shaddah, we said words cannot start with Shaddah, right? But this is, for example, one instance where the word first letter starts with Shaddah. The reason is they put the Shaddah, it's a help for the people who are doing tajweed, to remind them of a tajweed rule. If they're reading, they're letting them know how to connect the previous word to the next word. But in Arabic, you would never see something like that. So if we ever see a Shaddah, for now, in this class, we're going to skip it if it's in the beginning of the word. This is added. It's not even part of the original Quran. These are symbols added later on to help people with tajweed. And one more thing I'm going to talk about before we read together is this alif that we've seen before. It's here again. Here again. It's an alif with this symbol. This symbol is called Hamzatul Wasl. Okay. Let's go closer. So this is Hamzatul Wasl. Okay, this is a Hamzatul Wasl. This is a normal alif. This is Hamzatul Wasl. What is this and what does it do? What this does is it bridges what's before it and what's after it, but it acts as if it's not there. So when we are reading, if we see a letter like this, we just jump from the previous letter, ka, to the next letter, which is here the la, but with sukun. So we'll be saying kal, kal. It's bridging one word to the other. In other words, also this is a sign that this is a new word starting here, okay? Since all the letters are so close to each other, for non-Arabs, you don't really know where words start. This here actually tells you that it helps you know that this is a new word being formed, okay? It's not like in the beginning of every word. This is also here the end of this word. You don't see it here, but it's sometimes there in front of other words. So it helps you know where a word starts when you're reading. But its most important role is that it bridges what's before it to what's after it. Another thing, if the letter before it is an extension letter, okay? If it was an extension letter, you ignore the extension letter. So if this was by any chance, instead of the ka, there was a ya here, extending the li, right? Because ya extends the kasra. So if, let's see if I can pretend here, I can erase something. Give me a second. Let's pretend we're erasing the ka here, right? So let's pretend that there was a ya right here connected to this la. So as if we're saying the li. But then we'll see this bridge. So we have to connect this to the next letter. It does not connect the extension letter. It connects the letter before it. So we act as if the extension letter does not exist. And we jump from the li to the l. Dhalil, if that was the case, of course, we're just making an example. Okay, so the extensions will go away and we read from the letter before the extension and merge it to the next letter. Okay, so we'll have a better idea while we're reading, inshallah. So let's start from right to left. This is, by the way, Surah Al-Baqarah, the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah. How about we start with Surah Al-Fatiha? Let's start with Surah Al-Fatiha so that this is the first time you're reading Surah Al-Fatiha. Bismillahi. Okay, let's stop here also and talk about Allah for a little bit, even though I will talk about it again later on in my next video, but it's worth it to talk about it right now. This is the name of Allah. You have to memorize it, how it looks. There's two lambs, right? The first lamb, they don't put anything on it because they merged it with the second one. That's why there's Shaddah, right? So there's law. Now the la is usually a light letter, right? We say la, we don't say law, we say la. The exception is in the name of Allah. Allah is a heavy name and it's a powerful name and it's mentioned as Allah. So the letter la becomes a heavy letter as an exception in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Outside that, la is always pronounced as la. Having said that, the name of Allah itself also becomes light. So instead of saying Allah, it becomes Allah when there's a kasra right here, right? Just before it. So when there's a kasra before the name of Allah, what happens is the name of Allah becomes light. That's why we say Bismillah. We don't say Bismillah, right? You don't say Bismillah. You say Bismillah. Okay, we'll have also more about this in the next video. Bismillahi. There's this bridge. So what does that mean? After the he, I'm going to jump to the ra. The la here doesn't have accents, I'm skipping it. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And then there's the alif. The alif is after the meme. It's awkward how they put it, but it's an alif. So after the meme, there's an alif. It's a small alif. So we extend the meme. Okay. It's above the connection. So it's as if the alif is coming from here, but it's not. It wasn't written like that in the Quran. So that's why they added the alif here. So the Quran, when it was written at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, it was written without an alif coming out from here, where usually Arabs write it today. So, but it was pronounced with an alif. So today we put a small alif here to let people know that you should be extending the alif. I hope I'm not complicating things. Start again. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. There's a bridge. And there's some fancy stuff here, calligraphy, okay? The calligraphy makes things a little difficult. So here they made the noon, and it's, the whole rahim is in the noon. But you read from right to left, you know which one comes first. So the noon comes first since it's to the right. Ni, there's a bridge later. So ni ra. Nirrahimi. Bismi millahi hirrahmani and nirrahimi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, so that's enough for today. We'll have some more information in our next video, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.